In Amazon Lily, strength is beauty. The ability to stand above others through a display of power defining one's worth. And nobody embodies this better than Boa Hancock. On one hand, a respected warlord of the sea, and on the other, one of the world's most beautiful women. Both titles that she uses to form a persona of complete dominance and control. However, the arc of Amazon Lily is thematically about seeing others for their true selves. Something Hancock wishes to prevent no matter what, lying as a means of maintaining control so that her vulnerabilities can never be used against her. Her design immediately displays how she wishes to be perceived by others, but also hints at those deeper truths about her character. Hancock is a towering slender woman with long silky hair and dressed in extravagant clothing. It exudes a feeling of power and status, especially contrasted against other Amazon warriors, who are often shown wearing hunting clothes carved from animal hides, along with more casual short drapes. Her dress is colored in a passionate red, which is nicely divided by her exposed skin, a visual indicator of the confidence she feels in her abilities, exposing the persona she wants others to see while hiding as much of her vulnerability as possible. The flower and snake motif on her dress symbolize this duality. Snakes are typically characterized as deceptive liars, which fits Hancock's character perfectly. However, the symbol of her lies is the flower, the outward appearance she puts up in order to fool others. Every character in the show falls for Hancock's persona, especially men, which both protects her and validates her worldview on them. The idea that men are selfish creatures who only care about surface level appearances, until one man challenged every preconceived notion she ever had. Luffy was completely immune to her abilities. On the surface, the explanation is simply that Luffy is a naive child who doesn't feel attraction. But the true reason is much more meaningful. Hancock's ability is something that only affects those who fall for her outward appearance. But Luffy is someone who only cares about who people are on the inside, Hancock's cruel actions defining his impression of her more than her looks. Desperate to protect her secret, Hancock sentenced Luffy to death, making the execution public as a means to display the cruelty of man, with each of Luffy's actions both conflicting with and supporting her beliefs. In the fight against Bakira, Luffy yells at the Amazons for laughing off the petrification of their friends. Then when Hancock tries to justify her actions through charming him, it causes him to respond with disgust. Luffy's aggression is something Hancock very much expects of men. However, it's something she's only ever come to see in a twisted light, her biases preventing her from seeing how Luffy's empathy informed his actions, protecting him from her usual methods of control. But in the fight against Sandersonia and Marigold, Luffy proved without contradiction he was as kind as he said, when he used Conqueror's Haki to save Margaret and covered Sandersonia's back to preserve her secret, something he had no need nor reason to do, as preserving the lie only benefited Hancock and her sisters. Hancock's last futile attempt to expose any fault in him falling flat, as he chose to save strangers he just met, regardless of the setback it created for his personal goals to reunite with his crew, finally coming to see Luffy for who he was rather than who she expected him to be. With this new perspective in mind, Hancock allows Luffy to challenge her expectations one last time, willingly showing her brand to him, disrobing as a way of both literally and metaphorically exposing vulnerability. And it's here where the truths about her are laid bare. As a child, Hancock and her sisters were kidnapped by human traffickers, later forced to work as slaves for the Celestial Dragons. However, their time in Marijoa left them with deep emotional scars, these dramatic experiences permanently marking them in their slave tattoos. Their facade simply a defense mechanism to prevent others from learning this truth. But with their traumatic experiences fully uncovered, Luffy still chose not to hold anything against her, even in spite of her actions towards him, completely sympathizing with her experiences and understanding that the Celestial Dragons were to blame, having no intention of using the truth to control her. Hancock's feelings for him completely shifting towards admiration and love, even willingly compromising on her own persona to help Luffy in his goals. And in the modern day, we see Hancock lying on Rayleigh's lap, showing that she's become more open with expressing vulnerability, especially around other men besides Luffy. In Amazon Lily, strength is beauty, the ability to stand above others through a display of power defining one's worth. But in expressing weakness, a different, more meaningful strength can be found. The courage to believe you can be loved and accepted in spite of your flaws. And there are few things in life more beautiful than that.